So guys, this time we have a black bat. Today we're gonna take a look at 3 random tech items that I got from our thrift store. As I mentioned in some kind of previous video, it's been a while since I made a video. I think it was like previous video, the video before with that. I mentioned well, remember that new smartphone my collection video that I made? If not, go watch it first. With Samsung Galaxy Grandpa, that I mentioned that the reason why I'm not making many new phone in my collection videos is because the thrift stores are closed. Well, now they're open again. Finally, that video was made on the last day before they made an announcement that they're gonna open again. So I went to there and I bought quite a lot of stuff. In fact, I've never bought more than 1 item ever on there, if not 2. So I've bought 3 items, which is the most I've ever bought. And also I want to do a little bit of a teaser video because I couldn't fit it inside my day. It's Monday right now, it's pretty busy, and tomorrow it's super busy, as I've mentioned in I think some video. So I don't have that much time, but I think in about 2 days I'll be releasing a new phone in my collection video about a simple Samsung phone that's nothing that special, but I will be releasing it. It will be pretty thorough video, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, let's get to the 3 items. One of them is glorious, and it's sitting right here. It's currently doing some stuff, so I'm not gonna notice it. I'm not gonna show it. I'm gonna show it at the end of the video, so I will save the best for last, or just skip to the end if you're lazy. Actually, I got... Wait a minute. Well, I've got 2 items that are my own, and one of them is actually my mom's now. So we'll take a look at we'll go from boring to the best, Okay, so let's start with this. This is a cheapo Polaroid, really cheap and nasty little Bluetooth keyboard, But, and you're probably thinking, well, why did I buy this? Well, because my mom wants something physical to type on, and she would love to type on her phone with physical buttons, and I totally agree. Gboard sucks. And probably thinking, well, why did you buy this? It's so nasty and cheap. Well, the keys, they feel bloody awesome. I mean, this is a real nice keyboard to type on. It's not too noisy. Deck flex isn't too much. Like, I've had people have like keyboards that flex like absolute crazy. But my 2009 laptop has more deck flex than this. Yes, it has, I think, either some fault in the fabrication, but for some reason the Z is here and the Y is here. Please tell me what the fuck a quartz keyboard is. I have no idea what it is. Also, there's a CMD shortcut on the Windows key, which I really like. There's a mail shortcut. For some reason it says Win, iOS and Android up here. And here you have brightness, which is, I think, brightness for your screen. I'm not sure if that's purely for Android or for iOS. I really hope it's also for Windows. You got your keys for play and pause and stuff like that. I have no idea if that works. I haven't thoroughly tested it. The only thing I know is that it does pair and does work. I know what this end button is. There's the one LED. And it runs on 2 AAAs. And I'm not completely sure, but it might not run on rechargeables. But I could take a look at that. But instead of doing that and wasting lots of time in this video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some fresh and new Energizer Max. So these are not fresh and new. These are a few months old, but they haven't been used and they're still measuring at 1.5 volts on my multimeter. So then they're completely fresh and new still. There we go. They got your first problem. Now we have another problem. That is that it does not pair to my phone. It only pairs to my tablet, which is annoying, but my phone has really bitchy Bluetooth. It's been quite annoying for years now. So yeah, it's not the thing's fault. So you just press a button, will start to flash. Well, there's a button on the back. I think that's the pairing button. You press that. There we go. Now it's flashing. And it just types like a regular keyboard. It does completely work fine. Oh, did it just pair? No, it did not. I could pair it to my tablet. No idea if I'm gonna do it. You know what? I'm probably gonna do that. So we'll open up Bluetooth here. That's a video that I'm looking at. Yes, I do watch YouTube. Don't worry. YouTube is the only thing I care about. I don't care about any social media. It's literally just called Polaroid Keyboard, which is interesting. That's nice. That's nice and simple. It's not like THS10U or whatever. It's not like a weird thing. Sorry for the aspect ratio. It's just my AMOLED screen on my tablet. Yes, it has an AMOLED screen. I know, it's great. It's still pairing and it doesn't connect always. So we'll just press forget. Reconnect, brand new. So you have to type a code. I want to say code type, but that's not the case here. Oh, and it doesn't connect. Great. So we'll just whip out. We'll just press the button again and just hold it and turn it. You know what? Let's get the fucking batteries out of here. You have the code. You type 620. Oh, that's the B. 0053. Enter or return, and there you go. It's connected. The only stupid thing is this weird B key. Was this like a? This is well B. I think it's called an O or something like that. So it's a ridiculously stupid um German letter. I fucking hate German, by the way. Here's a little test. Wait, you know what? Let's zoom out a bit. Focus on that. The Y is in a stupid position. Like, it types satisfying. Like, wait. Apart from the Y key, it types super nice. Like the keys genuinely feel great. I know some people will criticize since it's a chiclet keyboard, and I can get why. I have had a chiclet keyboard before that has no tactile feedback at all. Like when you press it, it genuinely doesn't feel like you're pressing that much. Really mushy, really crappy. Some keys are worn out over the years. This will beat the built-in keyboard you will get with your PC. Let's just say it that way. So let's see. Does volume work? Yes, it does. Volume does adjust, although it's super laggy. There you can turn off your sound. Your brightness does not work, but that's to be expected, to be honest, because I think that's not even a feature on Android. I don't have any music, but when I press this, it won't do anything. Will it do it in YouTube though? Let's do that. I'll just do that off camera. Will it play? Is the volume turned on? Because I don't want that. Oh yeah, it genuinely works. You can use this for YouTube controls as well. That's excellent. So the Polaroid keyboard is great here. I'm not watching porn or something. I just don't want to show it. Don't know why. YouTube community shit reasons. It's great. I gotta say, it's a really good keyboard. I mean, it's made out of crap. Like, it's made out of pretty darn crap quality, and it does bend quite a lot. Holy cow, would you look at that. So yeah, but the deck flex, like, when you push on the keyboard itself, the deck flex is not too bad. Like, it's a genuinely good quality keyboard. At least, well, the quality of the plastic isn't too good. I don't know how long the batteries are gonna last. I mean, some Energizer Maxes are probably gonna last like a year or something. But with that extra LED in it, it can be very annoying, to be honest. I still like the what's it called, like an optical unit. I don't know what it's called. One of those little receivers that you plug into your computer. Like, no, this is Bluetooth keyboard, you know. No receiver needed, no little plug needed for a computer. I still think that's more convenient because it saves more battery since there's no. It saves cost because there's no Bluetooth module needed. Plus, I think it requires less battery because I have a Logitech mouse that runs on 1AA and lasts like, well, it lasts at least 2 months, but up to like 2 years. So don't worry. I still prefer one of those with a little module that you have to plug into your PC. And yes, using a USB OTG adapter, you can use that mouse on your PC, on your tablet, but with Bluetooth it's much more versatile. Not with this particular keyboard, the connection is pretty unstable, and as you saw, it did have some connection issues, unlike with those IR things or infrared or those little module ones, the one with the module that you have to plug into the OTG adapter. And that can be a little bit clunky, and Bluetooth is just more versatile if you buy a quality one. So yeah, pretty good keyboard. It's real great. It's the keys themselves are just they've done cost saving on this, but not on the keys, which is great. They feel genuinely good. So yeah, next item is pretty freaking random. It's this Asus speaker, Sonic Master. And before you ask, what the hell? Why are all those pry marks on the bottom? That's because I want to open this up because, well, it had a super stupid 2.5 millimeter plug, and it did not work in a Nokia, which has a 2 millimeter plug. So what I did is I just stripped the wires. Well, the wires are made out of pretty horrible quality, but don't worry, I've seen millions and millions of times worse. try cutting your headphone cable, open it up, and it's absolute. It's made out of cloth or something. It's horrendous. This is genuine stuff. And this is meant to be a subwoofer, but at first I was confused since it sounded just like a speaker. A subwoofer is meant to sound really bassy, and nothing else. It should not sound like you shouldn't hear anything that like in mids and highs. You should only hear bass. It should sound super muffled, but this thing sounded clear. But when I plug this into my amplifier, look at that, that's beautiful. The fun started. Asus always never disappoints me. Like their tablets are made out of absolute monstrosity. They're made out of really good quality. This was meant to be an add-on on a laptop. It has this tiny little woofer inside. But to be honest, this sounds really good. Like when I connected this to my amplifier, I noticed it was much more bassy than a speaker, than just a regular speaker. Take for example this Sanyo speaker from the 1980s. It's broken. Don't worry. Yeah, I know. It looks innocent, right? Well, this thing absolutely smashes it, even though it has a smaller woofer inside. The Sanyo sounds super tinny, no bass at all. Mids are very held back. At least with standard, with nothing in hand, with just purely the speaker doing the job, not with the amplifier set to bass boost or something. The Sanyo generally just sounds tinny, and this sounds like the perfect combination of mids and bass. It really does. And they're still highs. There definitely are still highs, but they're just they're just less pushed. They're just a little bit pushed back. They don't sound muffled, but just pushed back. You know. It just sounds really good. I mean, it does sound a bit like a speaker, but it's close to a subwoofer. I can see why they didn't want a subwoofer, because it's just way too expensive to make. You got this little beautiful pattern on the top. It's made by Sonic Master, I guess, and I just cut this cable and just connected it to my amp, and that's it. It genuinely sounds great. I mean, obviously I'm doing that in a small space, you know, but my amplifier is in a really small corner, so it will always sound better. But for such a tiny thing, with the when I put the bass on +10, like when I okay, the bass booster, if I turn on the bass booster on my amplifier, it sounds exactly like a subwoofer. Turn it up high enough, and it sounds really good like a bass, like a subwoofer. You can also make the highs muffled and everything with my amplifier. I can make the highs muffled. But I don't need to do that, because when I just enhance the bass even further than it already is on that speaker, it genuinely sounds great. It sounds like an amazing combination of bass and good mids and okay highs. So yeah, for the $2 that I paid for it, it's genuinely worth it. It's super indistinguishable from all the junk that I have laying around here, and it genuinely sounds very good. So next up is an absolute hero. Something I scored for a really, really low price, and it's a really high value. So I'm just gonna adjust my tripod here. And that is this Acer Travelmate 2420. This is the last item that we have. When I saw this, I saw the cracked hinge, you know? Just clap it right here. It's in really bad condition, as you can see, apart from the lid, which I'll get into later. So, and it said that it was meant for parts. $5. And I thought, what? A PC for $5? Well, and the reason why is because every single computer they had there, they had a lot, let me tell you. They were all $25, which is way too expensive, since their specifications are just really bad. Like, I could only find one of them which is worth it, which had like a Core 2 Duo, but some of them have really, really old Core 2 Duos, like not the E8 series or the E6, not like the E8000 or the E6000 series, like the really old one, like the E5000 or something like that. I'm not a huge expert on that, but like the really old, like the first generation Core 2 Duos, the one with the blue sticker. The gold, not the one with the gold sticker, which is the second generation, which is the side of here, which is the A8200, which is great. No, they're just not worth it. So I went to the store, looked at some more stuff, and I thought, you know what? Even though I can't really use it for parts, I'm just gonna get a power adapter. So I got a power adapter, in particular this Delta power supply, which has a tiny bit below its amperage, but it's still in the 3.4 amperage range. Plugged it in. I didn't see any battery lights yet, and to my amazement, it turned on. It turned on completely fine. It booted Windows XP. the original Windows XP that's on it with the Acer software and everything, with e-management and stuff like that. 4 user accounts. What a dream! Like, it really was a dream. I couldn't believe it. Even my mom couldn't believe it. So obviously she let me buy it. There are definitely some wear spots here. For example, this key is a little bit wobbly, as you can see. The XP sticker is completely worn out. And no, this is not one of those PCs that has the design for Windows XP, Windows Vista capable stickers. It only says designed for Windows XP. You can see a lot of wear on these things, but I don't even know these switches don't even work. Like, this one is meant for network, this one is meant for Bluetooth. I'm not even sure if this thing has Bluetooth, because I did hear someone say that some Acer laptops still have these switches, but don't have Bluetooth due to cost savings, which is really stupid in my opinion. Look, even when I hold this, it just does not shut off the Wi-Fi, so I don't know if these switches are broken. You do have free headphone inputs. You just have your headphone, your microphone, and I don't know what that is. I think that's meant for. I think that's called SPDIF. I think that's for um, like a stereo system or something. Your battery lights, and the battery does work on this, but it only lasts at maximum 2 minutes, and then it just dies. So yeah, not too bad. I've had a laptop from the same year that did the exact same thing, except it lasted like 30 seconds longer. But yeah, it's to be expected. I don't really care about the battery on this thing. It's pretty bad. The keyboard is also really worn out. It's a little bit of a low grade keyboard. It's not as good as the Asus one. I had an old Asus PC that I took a look at a super long time ago, like 1.5 years ago. This laptop is similar to that, although this one doesn't have a graphics card and the Asus does. It had an excellent keyboard, even though it was very worn out. It felt really good. But this keyboard is just, it's average. It does feel like a pretty old keyboard. The enter key is coming off, I think. The enter key is kind of broken, which is unfortunate since that's the key that you use the most. The D key was shifted, like it was shifted sideways. It was really weird, but I repaired that. Um, it does have your usual marks on the keyboard, you know, that the little, it's completely glossy. Um, it's really annoying when people don't use the space bar in the middle. Look, you have the little glossy spot right here where the owner used it the most, and here there's literally just nothing. It's super annoying that people do that. Touchpad was pretty freaking gross. Like, the touchpad was pretty gross. It had a lot of dirt in these crevices. It was, yeah, it wasn't disgusting, but wow, it was just gross. And these buttons don't do anything at all. I mean, the only thing they do is just make noise. So I don't know what this is. I thought it was a trick nipple, but instead of that, these were individual buttons, but they are not. I don't know. Um, and of course the hinge, and the hinge is the absolute worst part of this thing. I can move the screen. Look at this. I can literally detach the screen. In fact, it's so badly damaged that I can literally see this bezel right here, this black bezel. I can rip it off all the way through here, all the way through here. So yeah, and I don't want the screen bezel off because then like all the electronics under the bezel are exposed, which is super annoying. Um, Also, since yesterday got even more damaged. This is not my fault. All of this was the previous owner's fault, except for this. I don't know why the wire it has popped out. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, it also has this weird. I don't know what that is. Invilink signal up sticker. No idea what that is. It also has a crack on the hinge right there. It's probably been dropped right here. I'm not completely sure. But the lid, like when the laptop is closed, it looks in really good condition, and the latches work too. I can just about close that, and that's great that it has that this is one of those old laptops that have the little pop-in latch, because then the screen is gonna shift around less and gonna protect the hinge. It does have quite a lot of minor scratches, but they're not even visible on my camera, and they're barely visible in real life, except when you look real close and really try to find them. So the lid is in excellent condition. So yeah, just to hide the damage a little bit. Other than that, the fan is also really in need of a replacement on this. Just listen to it. It does sound fine. It's pretty quiet, by the way. But when I boot this up in the morning, it started rattling at me, and when I boot this thing up for the first time, it also started rattling, which gave me quite a heart attack. I mean, in the store, I didn't do that, but after booting it up when I went home, it did do that. But after a little while, it just stops. I don't know why it is. Also, when I blow into the fan to clean it, it also makes a little yeah, it just makes it makes like a car turbo noise or something. Like it makes it makes the same rattly noise but a little bit less intense. The bottom is in pretty good shape, in really good shape, some might say. So yeah, just your Ethernet and your old school modem ports. No idea who ever used that. It does have Wi-Fi built in, thank goodness. Oh, and on this side, I forgot, you got your free USB ports. No idea if they're USB 2, but I hope. On the back, you have your VGA port, which is great that it's mounted on the back, because that's going to be really easy to hook up to my TV whenever the screen will die. A Pioneer disk drive, which is great as well. So then I can run my childhood games on this. Yes, my childhood games were on Windows XP, the best operating system ever. So yeah, also perfectly works. A stupid PCMCIA card slot thingy that I hope no one uses, since the only reason to have this is I think for a network card. But this thing already has a network. Oh, such annoying. You have to click this in first and then the card slot. There we go. And at the front, I really like these laptops because they have the charging port at the back. And with newer laptops, you really, I mean, it's nice and easy to reach. I mean, it's not particularly easy to reach on this one since the charging port is mounted on the back. But it's much easier to cable manage. And it's just much less annoying, to be really honest. It's real great. By the way, there's not the original charger. You also have your stereo speakers on the front, if I didn't tell you that. It doesn't have a lid sensor, so if it's closed, it's still turned on. I don't know if you can see that, but... Yep, it's still turned on. It's not like a really precise sensor or anything. It just doesn't have one. But yeah, apart from being dirty, it does have a 1GB hard drive. A 100GB hard drive, which is great. 1GB of RAM, which is also great, which is on par with that Asus thing. A Intel Celeron mobile processor, a 380 running at 1.6 GHz single core. And even though it's a single core, it does run at 1.6 GHz, so you gotta give it that, which is pretty decent speed. Much better than the older Travelmates, which had a trashy 1.3 GHz. And yeah, keep in mind that if you find this laptop trash, well, this thin client has a 1 GHz processor, single core. Yes, 1000 MHz. Absolutely ridiculously slow thing. I know this is faster. I mean, the thin client is a little bit newer, and I did put 4 GB of RAM in it. In fact, that thin client supports up to 8 GB of RAM, which is absolutely ridiculous. But it was released a year later, and it's a business computer. This is not. So yeah, this was just your random like $1,000 laptop, which sounds like a lot, but back in 2004 that was considered affordable. You find that expensive? Well, that Asus laptop that I was talking about costed $2,500, and it has a mediocre graphics card, so it's not even that high end. This one doesn't not have a graphics card. It has a stupid, super long Intel name, graphics chipset, whatever the fuck. And this one around 28 megabytes though, which is good. So yeah. Anyways, that is all the stuff that I got. This Acer Travelmate, great laptop, gonna be great for retro gaming. This excellent Polaroid keyboard, and a really good and maybe even great sounding Asus subwoofer. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for that Samsung video, new phone in my collection video that I will make. Just gonna get the tripod out. And I hope you all have a great day.